jam here on Kenji Takes a Hike. I couldn't have asked for a better day to spend the zero here in Damascus. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm having a really great time being in this town that is just beautiful. Last time I talked to you guys was in Hot Springs, and you know, it's been over 100 miles since Hot Springs, and you know, I couldn't be more thankful and happy about being on this trail. There's been a lot of great moments in the last 130, 150 miles. Going out of Hot Springs, you know, I went into a place called Roan, Tennessee. I got to stay at a place called Uncle Johnny's, Nolichucky Hostel. Cool place, highly recommend it. I wasn't planning on zeroing Roan, but after spending a night, I just wasn't rested, and I definitely learned that, you know, if you're not rested on this trail, it's really hard to go, you know. And so you know, I spent the zero at the hostel, spent a little bit of money by tenting. Instead of staying in the bunk or cabins, I tented inside their property, which was only, I think it was $15 instead of paying $25 for a cabin. Which is fine, you know, and I still got to use the shower. I still got to use you know, the bathrooms, and I was very rested staying in the tent. Now, a good strategy for this whole through hiking the AT thing, when it comes to food, is yes, you could spend $10, $15 on breakfast or dinner, but why would you do that when you can have friends and cook tons of food for, like, what? How much, molasses?
About $30 for all of us.
For breakfast and dinner.
For breakfast and dinner, both.
$30 to feed. $30 to feed what? 10 people?
About 8 people.
8 people?
Yep, 8 people.
The fact of the matter is, dinner was better last night than you could have gotten any restaurant.
Oh,
And this
absolutely.
is not a breakfast to be sneezed at.
Yep.
Tramley life. From Roan, you know, we climbed up a couple mountains. I'm a little starstruck right now. Since day one, I've been trying to hunt these guys down. This is Creedance Clearwater.
Hey, friends.
They have an incredible Instagram, and they're trek bloggers, as you see on the t-shirts. They're super, super cool. I've been hunting them down since day one. It's like, what? Day what? Like 35? Oh, it's crazy! We headed into Roan, the Roan Highlands. And today, apparently a huge thunderstorm is rolling in, like a red and yellow type thunderstorm on the radar. And I'm planning on summiting Roan Mountain right in the middle of it. Does not sound like a wise idea, but I have a backup plan. On top of Roan Mountain, there is a shelter that is like a 4-walled, with a door shelter, and it's apparently the highest shelter on the highest elevation shelter on the AT. So, if everything just goes miserably wrong, I'll shelter there, and hopefully don't get struck by lightning before then. But anyways, wildlife, right? Woo! The trail is completely different now than what it was in Georgia and North Carolina. You know, we're moving into Tennessee a little bit. Roan Highlands is North Carolina and Tennessee. They're big balds. You know, you're climbing up these mountains, these hills, with beautiful balds that you can see 360 all around. And, you know, some of the best views on these Roan Highlands. So, you know, I highly recommend Roan Highlands as a place to go do a section hike or day hike. You know, even driving up these balds to just hike a mile up. It's an incredible view. One of the best spots on the trail so far. I got to spend an extra day in Roan Mountain town, which was a really cool little town tucked away in the valleys, and I wasn't expecting to zero there again, but my trail family decided that we went to a bed and breakfast, and when we woke up, there was a huge weather storm coming in that all the weather reports were predicting, and they were kind of apocalyptic sounding, and so we decided to just spend the day in town and stay at the bed and breakfast again, and wait out this storm. Well, the storm never really came. The weather was sunny all day. We were kind of bummed that we missed out a whole day of hiking for predicted storms, but that's kind of the nature of things. You should trust the weather, but sometimes it can't be accurate. There was a certain motivation of, oh, we got to catch up. We got to catch up. We got to get that. We just missed a day. Going out of Roan Mountain, we pushed 18 miles to a shelter. I just passed 400 miles. So on my AT guide, there was a point in this today that said, all it said was bench view, and I thought it was just gonna be like a log or somebody cut a bench with a log, but no, it's actually a bench in the middle of nowhere. Awesome. But that weather that the weatherman was predicting came a day later, and so I got to the shelter and thinking I felt pretty good. There was about 6 more miles to another hostel that we could stay at, and I decided to keep going after doing 18 miles. And so I pushed 6 miles to a place called Kincora, Hostel. And Kincora Hostel is a really cool spot. It's run by a guy named Bob. A lot of Bobs on this trail. That knew so much about the history of the area, the history of the trail, and all this little trivia that was just really cool to listen to. He even knew the first AT hiker, a guy named Earl Shaffer, that first hiked the trail in 1948, and he even hiked it again in the 70s. And so Bob told us all about Earl Shaffer. And I was just so excited that I met somebody that knew Earl Shaffer, and because it's just cool to listen to a guy who knew the history, and this whole AT trail had a legacy to it, and so that was exciting. But what made it even more exciting is that I pushed 24, maybe 25 miles to Kincora Hostel, and my legs felt pretty beat up. I had the best sleep ever that night because I was so tired, but it was incredible. So yesterday, I did my record 25-mile day to get out of the snow. Today, I'm at 5 miles, and I've hiked about 4 hours. My legs are not at all ready to do another 18. Today is really, really hard. From there, we pushed big days to try to get to Damascus at a reasonable time. I had an opportunity to drive into Damascus a little earlier than expected, about 21 miles out, because one of the people in my trail family had somebody with a car. And so we came in just a little bit early, and I got the opportunity to slack pack the last 21 miles into Damascus. And slack packing is the term that we use when we take almost everything out of our packs, or get a little bit of a little day pack and just hike like a day hiker. And I'm telling you, the weight difference was comically different. I felt like I was floating. And super cool to be able to do that. For the first time on the trail, I really actually enjoyed the sport of hiking. Not that I don't enjoy it generally, but it still kind of feels like work when you're carrying 30 pounds on your back. But this time I got to just really enjoy the nature and just focus on the hiking aspect of it, which was a cool thing. And I came in, we hiked 21 miles in 7 hours or something like that, which counts up to about a little more than 3 miles an hour. We're flying down these trails. That gets me into Damascus, and Damascus has been such a fun place. It's a beautiful place. Hey, so I'm with Crazy Larry in Damascus. He owns one of the hostels here, and a really cool house. And you get to how many people can you hold in your hostel?
Well, 9 comfortably, but we've had quite a few more.
Yeah. I think one thing about this, the Appalachian Trail for me, is more than half of the trail is just the people, and the people you get to meet. And so Crazy Larry is another one of those people that you get to meet on this trail, and it's really exciting to be able to meet him. I just really want to thank you for all the support you give us hikers. This whole thing. It's so great to be hiking this with because of people like Crazy Larry, and so just thank you.
Well, Kenji, it's been good meeting you. I'm glad we connected, man. You're a good young man. I keep on keeping up with your videos. I'm gonna keep on keeping up with you all throughout the whole hike and keep on reposting you over there on Crazy Larry's.
Appreciate it. All right, so Crazy Larry's highest hostel. Yeah, get yourself over here when you're in town. Something that I've been thinking about lately is trail days. At first, I wasn't really interested in going to trail days because from all the pictures and videos I've seen of trail days, to me it kind of felt like a bit of a Woodstock situation, and I didn't really know much about Damascus. I thought Damascus was like this little village with like a couple of houses, and all of a sudden like just millions of hikers just descend upon it every year. Since coming into Damascus, I realized this is a beautiful town. It is one of the best looking small southern towns I have ever seen. A lot of great looking old houses and just manicured lawns, and people really take care of Damascus, And so I'm really enjoying the Damascus, and I actually really want to come back. And so I think I'm going to come to trail days. I really want to see if I can get over here. I'll probably be up in the Shannondoahs, maybe even Harpers Ferry by the time trail days are going to happen. I'll try to find a ride down here, which leads me to what my next kind of goal, my next portion of this trail is going to be. For the next month, I'm kind of planning out about 100 miles per week. If I'm making 20 miles a day, that gives me 5 days a week to do 100 miles. And, I probably might even do more than that or less than that, So 7 days sounds right to me for 100 miles. And so I'm going to kind of post up my guesstimation of where I'm going to be every week on my description, Facebook page, and all this stuff. So if anybody wants to meet up in Virginia, a lot of the trails in Virginia are just real nice, real not flat, but a lot more friendly than Georgia and North Carolina. And so I'm excited to get a little bit of a break from some hard hiking and just cruise through Virginia. And Virginia's over 500 miles of this trail, and so almost a quarter of the trail I'm going to be in Virginia. But it's going to be pretty. It's going to be the weather is becoming beautiful, and so I'm excited to be coming through Virginia. I'm excited for the next portion. Just thank you so much for following. As always, follow Jam on Kenji Takes a Hike.